previously on Hellchaser. Castiel sent me to get some government people from the government. They tried to shoot me several times. I now have red eyes and blood on my shirt, and my hands are slowly burning. Because, you know, shooting fire up your hands is probably not a good idea. But I did it anyways. Fought this in with Wrath, which was, you know, pretty chill dude, actually. Very nice, actually, considering the fact he was trying to kill me. You know, he called out the crowd for being a-holes, and, you know, he gave me time to pick out my own weapons. You gotta respect him for that. Drank his blood. I now have the ability to charge through walls. Same with Sloths after the whole snake fiasco. After that, Kaz for some reason said, "To be continued in part 3. Still confused about that. Don't know what he was doing. Back to it.
Okay, here's the deal. There's a human settlement that's about to be attacked by demons, the usual stuff. Go save them and bring them back here, and then fine, I'll tell you where either greed or lust is. Which one do you want ahead of time?
I thought about it and went, greed, definitely greed. 100% greed. Castiel goes, greed is
significantly stronger than lust. You might want to rethink your options. It'd be very detrimental for your survival for you to keep on looking for one first.
Nope, definitely greed. I'm not dealing with that. No, I'm not dealing with that crap.
Very well. Human settlements over that way.
So on my way over, there's not really much to say. There's just more of the usual stuff, except just more of them. I actually used my ability, my new charge ability on the enemies. I didn't really do much to them. More just kind of push them out of my way. But you know what? They're on the ground. You can shoot them while they're on the ground. It's much harder for them to move. They're on the ground. Charge through walls to find more stuff, including money. And yes, I did go through a bank. I finally find the human survivors. I basically, again, they start shooting at me. After a very long conversation and a giant wave of demons, just a very long fight between me and a bunch of skinners things. I'm still trying to figure out a good name. The skinners are like, they have like skin that's like a little too big for them in some parts, mostly the arms, and too small for them in other parts, like their legs. It's really disturbing to look at. More axe throwers, we'll call them, because they have a giant axe. They throw them, they pick them up, they just try to murder you. More snake people, which for some reason keep flirting with me. I don't know why. Just shoot it. Alright, just trust me, just shoot it. They thank me for saving them, and I basically just lead them to the settlement. Not really much to say. There was no one in really particular to talk about. On to the sin of greed. We're dealing with greed first, because I'm not dealing with whatever crap's going to be in Lust's dungeon. I don't want to know. So I'm just going to go deal with that. Now, Greed's dungeon itself wasn't really much. It was just like one room, but getting there was the hard part. It was like surrounded by a giant lake that was like boiling. There was these like rocks everywhere. So basically I just like jumped rock to rock. There was like weird fish things, like skeleton fish. It was like fish that were made of bones, but the bones were made of flesh. And it was like bleeding, so I couldn't see them. Because, well, with the water's blood red, it's kind of difficult to see things under the surface. And there was like snakes things too. Same as the fish, just like made of bones, but the bones were made of flesh. It's really disturbing to look at. It's kind of difficult to get their blood, since I'd have to drink boiling water. Which I did actually manage to get like some of the fish on the rocks, so I could drink their blood. Anyways, after I drank the serpent's blood, I couldn't get any fish blood, unfortunately. It made it so I could like withstand the water for a little longer. It was like demonic water or something. So if I fell in, I could get out without taking serious damage. I wasn't immune per se, but I could definitely like swim through it for like 2 minutes at most before I start taking like serious damage. Anyways, I'm about to get to the end of the, I guess, river of greed, we'll call it, because he was real greedy about it. Get it? Since Greed. Anyways, before I can get there, there's this like giant sea serpent I had to fight. It was pretty similar to the giant snake fight, except it was on water, you know, in its terrain. So, by a bunch of running, its attacks include biting at me, shoving rocks at me, trying to like splash me with water, which did hurt, but didn't like do anything crazy to me. After me shooting it, I think its head, I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell where its head was. It looked like all the other things. It was made of bones, except the bones were made of flesh. Again, very disturbing. You know, me at some point riding the snake. For some reason, it couldn't like fully submerge itself. It was kind of strange. Shooting it in the head with a shotgun while also shooting fireballs, which didn't really do much to it, honestly. I think it just annoyed it. And me dashing through boulders. I eventually killed the thing. Very much interesting fight. Thankfully, I could get someone's blood. It didn't necessarily heighten my immunity to it. It merely just decreased the damage I took at a time, I guess. Like, the normal sized ones made it so I could go through it longer without taking damage. The big one made it so I could go through it, when I go through it in it too long, I take less damage. If that makes any sense. Anyways, when I finally get to Greed's dungeon, I have to pay like $20 to get in. So my response was to simply shoot the lock. So, you know, the lock's on the ground. I just kick it out of the way. I open the door, and you know, there's of course have to be some sort of puzzle, because why not? So I had to like move around plates with like levers to make like a pathway, and some of those plates were not sturdy, so I had to like dash over them. Really strange. Anyways, after I get there, there was like another door where you have to pay like $20. My response was simply shoot the lock. Vial of his blood. Again, there was a price tag worth $1 million. Again, my response is just to simply shoot it and grab the blood. And for some reason, I couldn't open it. Like there was some sort of like strange spell on it or something. Like I couldn't open it. Like I tried shooting it, it just wouldn't open. Anyways, an alarm goes off. Bunch of demons. Here's these new guys that just have like stacks of money. They just like smack you with it. And the stacks of money also have knives in them for some reason. I mean, they were demon knives, so you know I could just, you know, more demon bullets for me. Actually, I ended up picking up one of the knives and just like kept it as like a melee weapon because I thought that would be helpful. And I was right, it is. A very long fight between a bunch of me and these weird Greed guys. Their bodies were a little strange. It was almost like they were made of gold, but not. Like, it was a weird gold flesh substance. Whenever you shot it, it had like the same sound of like when you shoot metal, but you still saw blood come out. It was really weird. They looked like normal humans, except like covered in the stuff. After a very long fight, the Sin of Greed himself comes out. He's a bit of an interesting. He looked very interesting. He looked like he was made of, I don't even know what to call it, like the demon metal, except yellow, goldish color. So bullets didn't like necessarily not work. It took a significant amount. You have to like shoot them in like the same spot multiple times. He had like kind of like a lizard's tail, kind of. It was really strange. He like changed shape. There was no like real like form for me to go off of, besides from him just being really greedy. He was really annoyed with me, to say the least. After, you know, me breaking every rule in there in about 1 day. So, you know, here's what he says.
How dare you! Now you owe me about $80 million. Pay with your wallet or pay with your life.
No, I'm going to kill you. That simple. The fight ensues. Okay, so this guy's really big. And kept changing shapes. He changed it to like a horse thing. They all had like, all the shapes had like one thing in common. They were like at like peak value, and like made with like the most expensive materials. He turned into like a horse, a weird serpent thing. It wasn't necessarily a snake nor a serpent. It was more of a worm, but give it legs, like human legs. Yeah, just imagine that. And pure nightmare fuel. It turned into just legit, just like a giant coin. But it like spot out tiny coins that like try to bite my ankles off. They didn't even have teeth. I don't know how they're biting me. It was weird. And before he like dies, before he like shrivels up, he puts his hands up and he offers me a deal.
Okay. You can have the demon blood. You can have whatever riches you have. I have. Just let me live, okay? I'll get out of your way. I'll hand you my key, and I'll just leave, okay?
I, of course, take him up on this deal because I don't really want to kill the guy. It's more of a either I kill him or he kills me, which what I thought it was. But so I take him up on this deal. He leads me to the key, and he removes the weird spell he put on the vial of blood. It's really strange how he did it, but surprisingly crafty. He like made the blood like freeze around it, around like the little cork stop thing, so you couldn't just like rip it off. It was really interesting. Apparently, frozen demon blood is really, really strong. So on my way out, just while I'm walking back to the settlement to hopefully get to the next location, guys, don't get me wrong here, I don't mind saving humans, but I'd rather just go close to the demonic rift, then save them. You know, deal with the main threat, then deal with the other people. That makes sense, right? And while I'm walking back, I have like a bunch of money from my great shop. Not shop, vault room. Seriously, I have just like a duffel bag filled with money. I see this weird like little stand thing. And it's made of that weird gold substance stuff. Like, it's flesh but gold at the same time. It's really hard to describe. And I walk up to it, and then just Greed pops out, much smaller. He took like a human form. Just made like a normal dude, just made of the weird gold stuff. And he, well, started to shop because now he needs funds. So you know what? Now I have a shop man. I can't complain. Here's what he said.
Come on. Big things, little things, new things, old. They're all here for a fair price, to say the least. So, what do you want?
So he sold a lot of things actually. He sold me like a better shotgun. It could shoot more at once, but it could like hold less bullets. Very interesting. He had an AK for sale, but I couldn't afford it, so so I just gotta drop that. He gave me some demon bullets. He's moving with the trends. I have to respect him for that. So after a bunch of shopping and me just, looking at all my new weapons, I bought a nice new knife. It was very nice. Apparently an angel once owned it. Granted, it's barely any like power left, but it's still, it's shiny and it gets the job done. It's able to kill a demon. I finally get back to the settlement. I decided to make it like a rule. I have to make sure I'm somewhere safe before I drink like one of the sins' blood because like I could very well pass out. So, being somewhere genuinely safe is probably a wise decision. I run into Castiel because, he's always a blast to talk to, not annoying whatsoever. Anyways.
You survived. Good. You have his blood. Okay. There's not really more any nearby human settlements. So what's lazy? Our next move is to simply just lock down here and wait this whole thing out. We'll need to figure out ways to get better food and supplies and you better weaponry. Tobin, drink Greed's blood. I guess this is a horrible idea, but you're gonna do whether I tell you to or not to. Yeah, I guess we've done all we can.
I respond with, "No, I'm going after Lust next. Please give me a location." I just explained to him my rule to wait until I'm somewhere safe before I drink any of the sins' blood because they always make me really dizzy or sometimes I pass out, sometimes I vomit. just, you know, to be somewhere genuinely safe is probably a wise idea, just in general. So, giving you an update on that.
There's nothing more we can do. You guys clicked 3 of the 7 keys I lost count. You see kill swap, which gave you the ability of, I guess, faster reflexes, I guess. It made you more aware. Wrath, which made you better at fighting, then greed, which you have to drink for some reason.
So that, you know what, I'll talk to him about it later. I'm just gonna go chug some demon blood. I chug Reed's blood and I vomit. I didn't vomit out the blood, just some like food I ate earlier. Again, not pleasant drinking like the Sins' blood. Like the others are like manageable, but like the Sins' blood is like gives me like a massive headache. Like Greed's blood gave me like a better idea of like what value is, like how much this would cost, what would this do, how can I best present this. It made me more convincing. It made me a little smarter. It made me understand the value of things. It's really interesting. So anyways, after about a few days of me discussing this with Kaz, he offers me a deal. Fine, I'll
Tell you where Lust is. That's the last one I'm giving you a location of. You're gonna get yourself killed. If you can give me some food, you can get the human some food from the factory over there. I would recommend you wait part 4.
First of all, what do you mean by part 4? Second of all, fine, I'll go do that. We'll talk about, what's the last one out of the bunch? Envy and Pride after Lust, right? We'll go after them later, once I get some better weaponry. Anyways, that's the end of the video. If you enjoyed, hit the like button. If you didn't, then please leave. If you'd like to see more, hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell if you want. If not, again, you can you leave? You can just go. And I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you next time. This has been Nathan. Goodbye.